see all this beautiful nature behind me and surrounding us? This is something that you have to want. This is not something that you just gonna get. And I'm not just talking about like physically and the nature and stuff. I'm also talking about a certain lifestyle.
All right, what's going on, people? Top of the morning. Take a walk with us. Let us talk to y'all about where we came from. All right. So follow us on our journey because we got a big story. All right. It's a life experience story. We not sharing nothing that we haven't experienced. We come from Baltimore City. We moved to Texas. We stayed in Texas for 3 to 4 years. Now we in beautiful Arizona. Look at this. So one thing, guys, what we had to overcome was limiting our so-called belief system, what we was taught, right? And a lot of us get stuck like that because we think that that's the real way, when that's not the real way. That's the real way to keep you in bondage in their system. You have to wake up. You have to realize that this is your life and you have control over it. But you have to know that. Believing is not knowing. You have to actually know that this is your life. You are the boss of it. You're the author. You're the character playing the role. So you decide what you want to do. All right. So us coming from Baltimore, Maryland, and Baltimore, Maryland is pretty much rough situation, man. Like, it ain't too many people that make it out of that motherfucker. Let's be fucking real.
Yeah, they either get trapped there, locked up for long periods of time, or just a repeating cycle of in and out of jail, or they get killed or die.
Or they just get stuck in generational curses
get stuck
with their family, and every fucking year around the holidays, they broke his shit, but they find a way. They use the energy that they was born with to find a way to make extra ends meet so that they can buy gifts for people that don't fucking like them, people that talk shit behind their back. It's a fucking game, bro. It's a game. But yeah, we are generational curse breakers. We are not the ones that's coming online, keep using these vibey words and chosen. We not even gonna say we chosen. We don't even want to be in a category of these fake ass motherfuckers because we really walking this shit. All right, we got 3 kids. All right, so we got 3 kids. We don't work jobs. We're fully entrepreneurs. We use our fucking brains. We don't listen to what the fucking world say. The whole world is saying, "Oh, you guys are leaving Texas to go to Arizona. Why would you want to go to a shitty place like Arizona?" And half of the people never even been to Arizona. You see the fucking programming? And it's beautiful out here, y'all. Let me show y'all. Look, me and my wife, we just taking walks every day. This is a trail right next to our house. Let me tell y'all something. It's so fucking peaceful and beautiful out here. I mean, you just see the kids out here playing. You see how beautiful it is. Look at this. And we just woke up, y'all. We just woke up. I mean, we got our stuff together and stuff, but we just woke up. We did our morning rituals. But that's another thing, man. Like, just becoming aligned with who you are. Understanding that what you were told, what you were taught. Most of our parents that raised us didn't understand who they were, so they put their traumas, their insecurities on us. Like, we was abused physically, mentally, emotionally, broke down to the point where we literally didn't have nothing. We had to fucking go.
Yeah, because as a parent, your job should be making sure that you leave something behind for your offspring. But when you lack that type of knowledge, or even beyond the knowledge, you just lack that care for your children to begin with, you're not gonna leave shit behind for them. Everything you're gonna take for yourself.
And again, that's why we're here breaking these generational curses, because we are trying to leave our family legacy with a lot. But yeah, that's the reason why. That's another reason why, y'all, we're doing what we gotta do for our kids, for our family, our generation to come. Because what we're doing is we're building a legacy. Right? We wasn't taught about life insurance plans. We wasn't taught financial literacy. We wasn't taught about law. There's so many laws out here that we protected under that most people do not know that they have the right. We got common law.
Common law is the most important. And that's the law that they don't tell you about, because that law gives you back your power. That's the law of just you being here. Just knowing that you here, you deserve to have food, shelter, and water. That's your right, just from being here.
And if you're being deprived of those rights, do you think that's fair? Do you think it's fair for them to sell you water when you essentially need water? If you don't, you die. Food, we have to eat. If we don't, we pass on.
The question is, why is it for sale?
Why is it for sale? Why, what else? Air. We supposed to breathe oxygen, right? We created that way.
Yeah, and even
they charge you
that,
for oxygen.
They don't charge us for it. They poison us through it so they can charge us later.
Well, if you want, if you want a better version of some clean oxygen, they put that shit in a compression tank and they sell it to you. My point is, follow us on our journey. All right, we have been across the country. We have ran, operated, started businesses, successful businesses. So can y'all see us?
You know that saying, the children are the future?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Bobby Hemmett said, the children ain't the future, you are. Because you're the ones that's going to leave the legacy behind for them to pick up.
Right.
So if you've been taught that the children are the future and you really believe that and take it with, full face, then you're not going to do no work on yourself to pass it down. You're going to be like, oh, the children, they the future, and leave it up to them. But if you left them nothing, how do you expect them to be able to carry out a future and you didn't give them one? As a parent, your first priority, and this just me, I only can talk from my own personal experience. That's what I do. I only talk from my own life. But as a parent, when I first became a parent, I was only 20 years old, and my first mindset about parenting was, as a parent, my first priority was to do something different. I didn't want to be like my parents, because I saw all of the stuff that they did wrong. I seen everything I didn't agree with when it came to how they raised me, and as a kid, I was like, I'm not being like that. And I can't say all negative things about them. There are some positives, but the negatives outweigh the positives when it came to how I was parented.
Wow. Well, I don't have no positive to say about. I never met my father. I just know that he was a white, not even a white man. He was Italian, right? He died before I was born. Like when I was 9 months, he fell and then got impaled by a pole, right? And it's a whole story behind that as well. But I never met my father. My mother, I only seen my mother my whole life dressed as a man, right? So she's gay. She never talks about my father. I got a younger sibling. I think we're like 4 years apart. She younger than me. She don't know her father neither. Her father is Nigerian. My father's Italian. My mother's gay. Don't want to talk about this shit. And she's a complete alcoholic. And she's been this way since I've been little. Very abusive physically, mentally, and emotionally.
And
she's
verbally.
Broke me down. And verbally, yeah. Like literally, I had no parents. My great grandmother took me in because one day my mother had a girlfriend, and her girlfriend had this jewelry, and I liked this girl at school, and I think I was in like the 3rd grade. So what I did was I took a ring from her collection, and I gave it to this girl in school that I liked at lunch, and I got, like, my mother beat my ass, right? I'm talking about abusively. She took, like, I don't know if y'all remember the Ed Hardy belts that had the buckles on them. She took the belt, flipped it inside out where the buckles, the spikes and shit was on it, and she whooped me till I was bleeding. And my grandmother, she dropped us off at my grandmother's house to watch us, like, later in that week. And, I was still young, and my grandma was like, one night she was like, go take a shower. And I was like, no, grandma, I'm good. And she was like, boy, get in that shower. She went to go run the shower for me. And she kind of like forced me to get in the shower because I was acting shaky. I had these bruises, these open wounds that was bleeding, and I didn't want nobody to know. And when I got in the shower, man, my grandmother seen the bruises, and she was like, what's wrong with you? What happened to you? And everything came to the light. And the courts got involved. So this is my great grandmother, matter of fact, and she got full custody of me and my sister. And bro, it's like it took off from there. So, and then you gotta think about it. Like my mother, she's well, not my mother, but L parents. L parents are like, you know, they have traumas that they never heal within themselves, right? And this is why it is so important to be aware of who you are. Because if you don't know who you are, you're gonna let the world take advantage of you. And you were created to have your own mind. But if you don't use your own mind, a corporation or somebody else will use it to for their advantage.
Well, the system that we live in, that we call life, is a system in itself, and it was created for someone else to take your mind and use the power, because the people who created this system don't have their own mind. They don't have their own power, so they need to use yours. And like you said earlier, like, this is a question: who told you that you had to work for money?
Right.
Who told you that?
Well,
your grandmother.
My family
right?
told me.
My mother and father told me that. Especially my father, because my mother, she really not, you know, she was the system. But my father, he was like, you gotta work for your money. You can't live life without money or without being able to take care of yourself. And so this mindset is something that was embedded in us over and over and over again. Then we go to school and we get taught that you gotta get a job to go, you know, once you get through schooling, you go through college just for a career, which is nothing but a permanent job.
It's no different than the jail system, the warehouse system. All of that shit is the same. A warehouse certificate is no different than a birth certificate. It's still a warehouse receipt. You're still a product. You understand? So the whole point of us to tell y'all this is not to just put out information. Well, we want to get our information out there to touch people in similar situations like us.
But a big deal though.
It is a big deal.
Yeah.
Cause I'm awarded. I was awarded a state. I was in a group home. Nobody wanted me. Everybody said, "Oh, he bad as shit." My own mother didn't want me. Because now further, you know, as I grew up, I found out that when my father died, that's when she really lost interest. She didn't want me no more. So she tried to kill me.
Sadly, it don't seem like she ever wanted you. It seemed like it was a mistake, because if you look at the age gap between your mother and your father, she was 15, he was 19.
She was a kid.
It's like something happened that wasn't supposed to happen, and she ended up pregnant.
And we know back in the day, a lot of women was getting raped. They was getting raped.
You can't say that word. It's called grape online. It's a community guideline.
A lot of women was getting raped.
Yeah.
It sound like rape.
It's grape, so they can't take it off.
But either way, y'all, we making this content because we believe that there's so many people, so many other human beings out here that has a similar walk to ours, but just don't know how to start walking.
They don't know how to break through. That's what it is. They don't know how to break through. And I'm gonna tell you, the main thing that's holding people behind is your family. And it might sound crazy. It might sound like I'm being biased or I'm telling you something unrealistic, but in reality, your family is the reason why you're stuck.
Yes.
If you have parents, if you have a mother, especially as a female, as a woman, speaking from a woman's point of view, a lot of times our mothers are jealous of the things that we're able to do because they have passed up their opportunity, or that's what they're thinking. That's the mindset. They have passed up their opportunity to be able to do the same things that we're doing. So say for instance, this is my circumstances. Anything that I came across that was battering me, I would take back to my family and I would give it to them because I want them to be in the position that I'm in. But if they looking at me as competition already, then they not listening to what I'm saying. They're more so listening to what I'm saying to critique it later on behind my back.
Basically.
Right? Act like they cool with it in my face. Behind my back, they have a whole conversation, plan, whatever it is.
Before you go any further, let's break down these terms. Let's break down these words: mother, father, sister, brother, grandma.
The origin, yeah.
What is this?